Ah, guys. The morning after the night before, it don't get any better. It don't get any better. Um, I don't even know where to start. I really don't. I don't know where to start. This should have been oh so different. So different. I mean, we won our first two games of the group. Like PSG away, Leipzig at home. And then we had back-to-back games, double header. What should have been the easiest two games of the group went to Istanbul, absolutely fluffed our lines, and gave ourselves all to do. Obviously, we beat them at home, had two games to get 1 point, and failed to do so. Failed to do so. This game was probably an amalgamation of the two previous games I spoke about. Istanbul away, where the performance was just poor. We started the game, especially in the first half, poor, went 2-0 down in Istanbul, and just gave ourselves too much to do, had to improve our performance tenfold to get anything out of the game, and we just missed out on getting a point there. The PSG game actually played well in that game. I would argue we at least matched PSG. Had great chances, open goals, all sorts, hitting the bar. Failed to take our chances. PSG capitalized. And this game was an amalgamation of the two. First half, especially the first 20 minutes, we got pulled to shreds, pillar to post. Nagelsmann absolutely done us on. Those first 20 minutes, we got ripped. We got absolutely ripped. There's no two ways about it. We got absolutely ripped. Exploited us down our right hand side of Wan-Bissaka. That switch, crossfield switch was always on. And Wan-Bissaka, he has this tendency to keep tucking in for the goal. He's tucking in right beside Lindelof when there's no point. Lindelof is marking his guy. There's not a plethora of guys in the middle or in the area. Why is he so narrow? He's done this so many times. And that ball over to the back post is always on. And Leipzig had the quality today in a way that Brighton didn't. Because that's what happened a lot of the time. Trossard on that side, hitting the bar, hitting the post, all sorts. Solly March, all of them. Leipzig had the quality to exploit that. And we got killed. We got absolutely killed. And Angelino's second minute. Can't remember the guy who scored in the 14th minute, but just non-existent defending. Cross comes in free. He's absolutely. I don't know where Luke Shaw is because Tellez ends up marking the guy who Luke Shaw should be marking. Therefore, he's vacated the man behind him. I can't even blame Tellez for it. It probably was a foul, but whatever in it. We got killed in that first 20 minutes. I had another, maybe even half an hour to be fair. They had another chance. They had a header from a corner. Corner went outside the area, lobbed it back in, headed it onto the post. Luckily, that didn't go in because the guy followed it up was offside, but he wasn't the one who headed it, wasn't offside. So if that went in, that would have been 3-0, and it would have been game, set, and match from the first half. They had another chance where ball came in, another cross from our side, right across from the right hand side, right across the area, and whoever it was toe pokes it past the post. Should have been 3-0. Like that first half an hour and the first half overall, horrible. Solskjaer got it wrong. Solskjaer got it tactically wrong. I mean, I was saying in one of my group chats the day before the match, I think it was, maybe even 2 days. I said Leipzig are there to be beaten. I'm respecting Leipzig. I know they're a quality side, but they concede goals. They're not an Atletico Madrid where you're only going to get a couple chances. They are an attacking team who leaves space in behind. And the thing is, even with our defensive setup, we still had the chances. They go 1-0 up in the second minute. Greenwood has a great chance, I think about 7-8 minutes, and he hits it straight at the keeper. You expect Greenwood to be putting those chances away. Rashford has a opening. I don't know if it was at 1-0 or 2-0, and he elects to shoot instead of passing to Greenwood, and it gets blocked. We had chances. That's why I say it's an amalgamation of the two, because the first half, so horribly wrong. There's no way we should have gone with the back five, because they spoke big in the transfer. In the pre-match conference. Him and Solskjaer Maguire. We're not going for the draw. We're going to win. Yet we play five at the back. And remember, of our five at the back, only Telles is a real attacking outlet. Wan-Bissaka is not an attacking wing back. So you're playing a five at the back, not a three, a five, and two defensive midfielders. It's too negative. It's scared. You give Leipzig the incentive to come out and attack us, because we've only got three attackers on the pitch: Bruno, Rashford, and Greenwood. But even with just the three, we created chances, which says to me we should be going more attacking. We needed to win the game. Let's be honest. Like, we can't. You don't play for a draw. If you get the draw, you get the draw. But you play to win and end up with a draw. If you play to draw, there's a good chance you're going to lose against that quality of opposition. And that's exactly what happened. We went there with five at the back and two defensive midfielders. We could barely get the ball to our forwards. Not in any great propensity that we needed to. We should have been going at them. We should have been going at them from the outset. Because the moment that we did go at them, we changed to a 4 before halftime. The game settled down. We took control of the game. And in the second half, let's be honest, it was all Man United. We changed to 4. We brought on Van der Beek. I think we took off Telles. Went to a 4-2-3-1. And it was all Man United. Now, yes, they're 2-0 up, so they're more likely to sit back and try and hit us on the counter-attack. But this is how we should have been playing from the outset. Their defense has proved already, just in the last few weeks, let alone this season and previously, we've been at 5-0. But even outside of that, they won their last game against Istanbul 4-3. They drew on the weekend against Bayern Munich. Granted, it's Bayern Munich 3-3. They are there to concede goals. And when we put some pressure on them and got the ball in the box and put men in the box, we were able to create chances and score some goals. The keeper pulled out some good saves. We got the penalty, which I didn't think was a penalty. Very, very soft. Very soft. Then we score from a corner. We had so many set pieces in that game, and the delivery was poor. So poor all game. But we finally score 3-2, and then we can't even get the ball back under control. It was just messy. It was a messy, messy game. Yet it was still there to be won. So first and foremost, you have to put the blame on Ole for setting us up in such a defensive manner that betrays what he said in the press conference and betrays the DNA of Manchester United. We're not playing prime Barcelona, Real Madrid, or even a peak Man City, Liverpool. It's RB Leipzig. Credit where it's due to RB Leipzig, but it's RB Leipzig. You have to be going there to win, and we did not do that. Therefore, we deserve to go out. First and foremost, blame has to go on Ole's feet. Has to. He's the manager. He picks the team, he sets them out. He has to ask himself, why do we keep starting games so slow? What can he do different in the pre-match? Why do we always have to go behind before we start playing? What is going in up there with these players? Why they can't start games, all games, against all opposition, on the front foot, full of energy, with intent? Why can't they do it? It's not good enough. But should Ollie be sacked? And I asked this question on the Football Terrace preview for this game. I said, if we lose to Leipzig, obviously get knocked out, is that a sackable offence? Everyone said no. I just wanted to see where everyone stood, because people like to change their tune. People like to say one thing, and then when the reality hits, they change their tune. You set someone a target, whether it's a striker with a goal target, a manager with a position, a place that you have to finish, a trophy you have to win. And when they achieve it, you move the goalpost and you say, well, actually, no, but you didn't do this, that. So I asked, I already knew, I already felt, no, I already said, you have to give managers the season unless things are really going in the doldrums. And they're not. We're in a group of death that nobody really expected us to get out, but I felt we could have. For me, it was 50-50. PSG, of course, were favourites, but they've been horrible. And I felt it was between us and Leipzig for the next position, and that's pretty much how it turned out. Last game, winner takes all. Leipzig got to the semis last year, PSG got to the final. Never going to be an easy group, but we put ourselves in a position to go through and fluff our lines. When there's no expectation with Manchester United, we play. We're we're a small, like a small team. Where you go, the shackles are off. There's no expectation. Free hit. If you lose, you lose. You go to PSG. No one expects us. We get a win. We play Leipzig at home. We'll see. Anything can go either way. We win. Then the pressure hits. Istanbul. We have to win. We lose. We beat them at home. Cool. We need 1 point from the last 2 games. We lose both of them. But we're in a good position in the league. We're a couple points off the top, all things considered. We are through to the quarterfinals of the EFL Cup. Obviously, the FA Cup hasn't started yet. What was the expectation at the start of the season? Get another top 4 finish and probably win a cup. Probably win a cup, because we got to 3 semi-finals last year, didn't win either of them. Minimum, we get to a final, whether it's the League Cup or the FA Cup, or now the Europa League, maybe. Has to be signs of progression. But first and foremost, another top 4 finish. I think if he finishes in the top 4, he won't be sacked. But I like to judge at the end of the year. Say, cool, we got another top 4 finish. Are we progressing as a club? Are the players getting better? Is the style of football getting better? Are we winning more games than last year? Like, if we can't finish on 66 points again and finish in the top 4, we need to close the gap. I know it's not going to be 100 points, but we need to close the gap. So that's what I like to judge. And as it stands, we have closed the gap to the top of the table compared to this time last season. Obviously, that's partly due to the fact that there's no team going to be touching 100 points, I don't think, this year. 85 points probably win the league. But it doesn't mean that you have to keep him just because you get top 4. If you feel there's more progression that can come, if we're getting dumped out of FA Cup early, if we don't get to a final, let's see how we do in the Europa League, you have to make a decision. The morale in the dressing room, all of those things count. You can't just, like, people say, oh yeah, but Jose got sacked after finishing second. Well, yeah, he didn't get sacked after finishing second. He got sacked because we were like 19 points off 4th in December, and he had lost the dressing room, and the club was in turmoil. I see this situation we're in more similar to Van Gaal's second season, where we've been knocked out of the group stages by Wolfsburg. We've gone to Germany, where we needed to get, I think we need to win that game. I can't remember now. I think we might need to win, and we lost it 3-2. Like we did, went to Germany today, lost 3-2, or yesterday even. Football wasn't great. but the results were good enough to be in and around top four. And got to the end of the season, won an FA Cup, missed out on top four on goal difference, and he got sacked. Top four was the bare minimum. So I compare it more to that situation, and nobody was really saying LVG out in December. I don't remember. I don't think we were. Situation can't be compared to the one under Jose Mourinho. So as things stand, we're doing all right in the league. Domestically, we're doing all right. Home form needs to improve, of course. Away form is good. So no, Solskjaer shouldn't be sacked in December. That for me, getting a manager in now, whether it's a better coach or not, ain't gonna change anything. We ain't winning the league. We're still gonna be fighting for top four. So it can only go worse. Let's be honest. It can only upset the dressing room. Things can only be worse by getting a new manager at this point. At this point in the middle of the season. At the end of the season, we have a proper plan of action. And I've said it before about getting a technical director in before you go get a new manager. And then you can plan a proper recruitment strategy. You plan a proper managerial appointment, coaching staff, etc. Doing that in December is haphazardous, it's reactionary, and it will probably cause more harm than good. So no. Question, as my title, Ollie out? No. We judge him. For me, we judge him at the end of the season. Let me go through some of your comments before we move on to the next topic. Let's see. I hate when we lose. Mohammed says, I hate when we lose. Everyone tries to denounce all the good the manager does. And yeah, I mean, every time we lose, it's like, and you try, and if we win and you look at it holistically, you say, well, the manager did this right. Some of the players did this right. Some of the players did this wrong. Where do we need to improve? People are like, no, it's individual brilliance. Give it to the players. Then when you lose and you say, well, some people did this wrong, manager. Some players did this wrong. Some players are all right. It's like, oh, you're excusing the manager. No, you're looking at it holistically because it's never, ever just one reason. It's never just one thing that happened on the night why you lost the game or why you didn't qualify your group. It's like when people talk about relegation. Oh, if we, that decision cost us our place in the Premier League. No. 37 games probably cost you the place in the Premier League. That one game may have been the tip of the iceberg or the ultimate deciding factor. But what about the previous 37 games? What about the other 5 games in the group? What about, there's a lot of things that go into why we didn't qualify as opposed to he just played 5 at the back against Leipzig. Or the missed chances against PSG, for example. There's a lot of different things. This is the best rebuild we've had since Alex. I mean, time will tell, innit? Time will tell. Morale-wise, recruitment-wise, definitely. We need to progress on the pitch. Mohammed also says we deserve to be out. We only got slapped in the first half by PSG, Istanbul, and Leipzig. We can't keep starting games so slow, and they always come back to bite us. 40 Agendas says Ollie is that dude. Trust the process. Gollum has a better record than Klopp in his 100 games, and that's the way you said. Maybe that may be correct. I don't have the stats in front of me. The difference is obviously Klopp came with pedigree. He came from winning 2 Bundesligas and a German Cup, got to a Champions League final. So it was much easier for everyone at Liverpool to trust that because you knew what his ceiling was. You knew what he could achieve. You knew that if given the time and the players, he could get the Liverpool team to where he got the Dortmund team and beyond. Solskjaer is a black hole. We have no idea. He's won 2 league titles with Mulder, but it's Mulder. It's not on the same level as the Bundesliga that Klopp was doing it. So he comes here and it's like it's a stab in the dark. You don't know what's around the corner. So every game is like not an induction. It's like an exam. Every game is an exam. We're judging him after every game because we actually don't know what's around the corner. There's nothing to prove. There's nothing to show that if you stick with him, things will get better. That's the problem. It's a black hole and you don't know what's at the end of it. That's what it is. But I'm just like, I do know what happens when we sack managers, and the truth is nothing. If we don't have a proper plan, nothing over the long term comes from it. So I say give him to the end of the season, like we did last year. We got third. We could have sacked him in January when things were bad after Burnley and Liverpool, but we got him the play that we should have got him in the summer. Gave him to the end of the season and got third. So let's give him to the end of the season. And then at that point, you can say categorically, you can say, well, you know what? Gave you players, even though he hasn't got all the players, but he gave you some players, gave you time, etc. And this is the result of it. If you don't give a manager time, all you end up with if, buts, and maybes. If you don't give a manager backing, all you end up with what could have been. That's all you end up with. And that's helpful for no one. If we had backed Jose Mourinho to finish a second, maybe we would have won a league title. Maybe. But it's always if, buts, and maybes because we never go the full way. I think LVG, I know we didn't get him all his players, but he had 2 full years and nothing changed in terms of the football. Absolutely nothing changed. And I doubt anything else would have changed the next year. But it doesn't help when we're not backing these managers properly. But I'm not going to get into all of that right now. Bon Twee says, when there's no expectation, that's when players can do their thing without Ollie guidance. Sorry, 1 second. You wanted fans talking about top 4 in the same breath when they admit they're not good enough for UCL. Yeah, listen, just because we're not good enough for you, Champions League, I mean, I don't know what that means. Good enough to win it. I mean, we're in it. We beat PSG. We beat Leipzig. We won 3 out of the 6 games. We beat all the teams in the group, but we didn't get enough points. We're in the Europa League now, but of course we still want top 4. We still want to be in the Champions League next year. It's all about progression. We haven't actually finished in the top 4 2 years on the bounce since Fergie. Moyes finished 7th, got sacked. LVG first year finished 4th. Next year finished 5th. Jose first year finished 6th, but we won the Europa League, so we got into the Champions League. Next year finished 2nd. Ollie came in halfway in the season. We were in 6th. We finished 6th. First season finished 3rd. This year, we'll see what happens. So we've had no consistency of getting to the top 4. So bloody hell, I mean, I would take 2 back-to-back top 4 finishes just to say that we're kind of settle ourselves and then go to the next step. Is Ollie the man to take us to the next step? That's the question. But I think he is the man to at least get us a bit on level. Just get top 4 twice. Top 4 twice, and we go from there. Kyle says, Ollie starting 5 at the back again with 2 DMs shows me that he doesn't trust his players or team. And why not? This is his recruitment. He's showing that he's still amateur. Listen, yesterday was definitely a highlight of his limitations as a manager. The 2 DMs, I mean, it was catastrophic. It was catastrophic. I mean, you got 2. I'm not gonna say immobile because McTominay isn't immobile, but he's not Fred. He ain't gonna be running around the way that Fred does, and you got Matic there as well. So there was just a lack of real bite and energy in that midfield. And of course, neither of them are great passers. I mean, Matic ain't a bad passer, but he's not a very good one. He's not a great one, should I say. Van der Beek definitely had to be in there. He showed his limitations as a coach in the way we set up. And the coaching staff in general, we know that coaching staff is, it don't look, it ain't great. It ain't great at all. Bear with me 1 second, guys. LCFC, boy, morning. Listen, see you in Europa League, innit? See you Europa League. We took your place in the Champions League just to be embarrassed like that. So I apologize. Sorry about that. I apologize. No, but you lot are through in the Europa League, innit? You lot did all right in your group. I think you got 1 more game. You lot did all right. Arsenal, see you in the Europa League. Spurs, see you in the Europa League. Maybe Real Madrid. Maybe Real Madrid. I would love Real Madrid to drop in. AC Milan are there as well. I mean, what is it? Misery loves company. Ramsey's been at my neck since we got knocked out. Misery loves company. Um, Pogba, Paul Labille Pogba. Yeah, before I actually did, let's see. He says, in my opinion, from outside fan, give him to the end of the season. Nothing changes. Get rid of him now. Give him to the end of the season. Nothing changes. Get rid of him now, or get rid of him at the end of the season. Maybe I'm not sure. Slightly confused. Give him to the end of the season. Nothing changes. Get rid of him now. Definitely give him to the end of the season, I think. And if nothing, yeah, if you don't see a progression, I think at that point you can say, yeah, time to move on. We play two DMs, works well for us. Indeed, and Tielemans, but both mobile. Do you play five at the back as well? I don't know how Leicester play these days. But even if you do, there's a lot. You can do that because Conte did it. Conte played a 3-4-3 or 3-5-2, and we have with Matic and Kante. Obviously, Kante is very mobile. But your wing backs have to be attacking because we only had 3 attackers on the pitch: Bruno, Rashford, and Greenwood. Telles and Wan-Bissaka. Telles is attacking, to be fair. Wan-Bissaka's not. You need your wing backs to be high, to be pushing high, like Angelino was, for example, for Leipzig. Ours just ends up being a back five when it should be a back three, and your fullback should be in line with your defensive midfielders. That's the real problem. If you play the 3 at the back and the 2 defensive, cool. But where's your attacking coming from? Ours is limited because our fullbacks, well, at least one of them, don't attack very well. Don't attack very well. I mean, guess they didn't defend very well. Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba. What do you do, Paul Pogba? I mean, I didn't even really give. On Twitter, I spoke about it. I haven't really done it in video format. Paul Pogba's got to go. Paul Pogba has to go. And I said this on Twitter. Unless he apologizes, whether publicly or we hear that he's apologized to his manager and his teammates, he should not be in Man United's matchday squad. That's my thought process. That's my feeling. Yes, he didn't do the interview, but he employs Raiola. That's his agent. His agent speaks on his behalf as far as I'm concerned. And he has never, ever shut down or distanced himself from comments from his agent about his future, Paul Pogba's future, that is, or his very disrespectful comments to the manager, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who's done nothing but back Paul Pogba. Nothing but back him. And Paul Pogba not once distanced himself from those quotes. As far as I'm concerned, that's more important than any result. The integrity that you have as a club, as players, as managers. When you come out and you disrespect Manchester United, that's when I'm done with you. Jose Mourinho disrespected Man United on numerous occasions. And with the Sevilla quotes and the way he's dragging players under the bus, we don't do that at Manchester United. So when it was the whole Jose out brigade, I was like, well, I'm not going to be shouting Jose out. But when he got sacked, I said this is very understandable. His position was untenable. I thought Woodward would wait to the end of the season when he mathematically couldn't get top 4. But when he got sacked, it's like a cloud had lifted from the club because the position was untenable. A cloud is over the club, and it was before this match because of those comments from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Sorry, from Mino Raiola. And as LCFC Boyer says, he's acting bigger than the club. Yes, came from his agent, but his agent represents him in public. Simple as. Bigger players with bigger credit in the bank have been moved on from Manchester United for what is perceived as disrespect of the club, of the manager, of the teammates, players who think they're bigger. And I'm talking Yapstam, best defender in the world when we got rid of him. David Beckham, probably the most iconic footballer in the world when we got rid of him, Manchester United legend. Roy Keane, captain, fantastic. All three of that, that's in the space of about 5 years. Space of about 5 years, Fergie got rid of all of them because he said nothing is bigger than this institution at Manchester United. And it may cost us a result here or there. It will, because they're great players. They're very good players. And I think with the Yapstam one, he said that's probably his worst decision. But at the time, it was the right one for him, because if he let him get away with something like that, it's a spiral effect. Everyone thinks they can get away with it. And if Solskjaer allows Pogba's agent to keep getting away, and Manchester United allowed them to keep getting away with this, and Pogba's playing like nothing's normal, there's no kind of internal discipline or anything, it allows agents like Van der Beek's agent to come out and say stuff. Because it's a free-for-all now. Manchester United does this, it's a free-for-all. We can be attacked by anyone, all and sundry. That can't run. So yeah, yesterday, if Pogba starts, we might win the game. But I wasn't disappointed that he didn't start. Didn't care when he came on. I said, I will back Ollie with whatever decision he takes. He knows Paul Pogba better than me, better than you, better than anyone on social media. Solskjaer, while he's coaching, leaves a lot to be desired. His man management is very, very good. So I trust that he will make the best decision, or at least the one with Manchester United's best interest at heart. Not himself, like some managers do, but with Manchester United. So it might be the wrong decision, but the intent is good. The intent is that to benefit Manchester United. If Pogba doesn't play another game for Manchester United, I'm not mad. I don't care if we lose a game that Pogba could have helped us win. Man United is bigger than one game. It's bigger than one season. Football will go on after this season. Man United will go on after Pogba leaves or retires or whatever it happens with him. And it was same what happened with Solskjaer and every other player. Manchester United is bigger than all of that. And there comes a point where you have to say enough is enough. And I like Paul Pogba. When Paul Pogba came, I was his big. Well, I was one of his biggest fans before he even left. The first time, I was so gutted when he left. When he came back, I said, "The prodigal son, he has returned." I got the shirt with his name on it and everything. But just too many times, there's too much things that he doesn't shut down or that he does. When before the derby, we get the news that Mino Raiola had offered him out to Man City in the January. That was before, and then we won the game 3-2. Pogba comes out in that summer, no, not that summer, the summer after. No, actually, before even that, Jose gets sacked. Pogba releases that little picture with a snide little face of Jose has been sacked. Yeah, Jose's been sacked, and you had a bad relationship with him. But what kind of immature behavior is this? Keep your counsel. Be professional about it. It's acting like a little kid on Twitter, posting such a little image because the manager's been sacked. Like sacking any manager is something to celebrate. It means that Man United's in a bad position, a bad place. But then when you do that, you got to take the game by the scruff of the neck now. You got to lead this club to glory. And the first few months under Ollie, yeah, it was going good. It was going well. Season tailed away. I'm not saying it's Pogba's fault, but when you put yourself out there, people will talk. People will criticize. People ain't talking about Rashford. People don't put the same pressure, even though they do put pressure on, but don't put the same pressure on even an Anthony Martial, because he's a quiet guy. He ain't posting up pictures after Jose's been sacked to show that he's happy that Jose's been sacked, even though he was damn happy that Jose was sacked. But when you do that, Then you got to prove, all right, this is why I want Jose. This is why I wanted Jose sacked. Let's go. But what do we get? A year later, not even a year later, a few months later, he's talking about, I think it's time for a new challenge. What do you mean it's time for a new challenge? This is the challenge. This is the challenge. So he's talking about his future. Mina Raiola's talking about it. It's coming at crunch moments in our season. For me personally, I've washed my hands. Until I hear an apology, I don't care what happens with Paul Pogba. Don't care. If he never plays another game for Man United before an apology, do not care. Doesn't affect me in the slightest. If Solskjaer decides to play him, that's Solskjaer's decision. But I can't defend him. And I can't defend this. But again, I'm not going to go on a tirade about Pogba out, Pogba must go, Pogba virus, Pogba that. But Man United is bigger. Man United is bigger and always been bigger. And there's a lot of people who are Pogba FC. Well, you know what? When he does go, because he will go. When he does go, you can go with him. Because you support Paul Pogba. You support players. So when they go, you can go with them. And hopefully, you take that toxic energy out of the club where you go. I'm cool with that. I'm so cool with that. A lot of people were Mourinho FC. And you see them shaking their ass for him now. When he left, you should have gone with him. You're not a real Man United fan if you're supporting one man over the club. One man over the club. People ain't got no credit in the bank when it comes to Man United as well. So Pogba will leave, whether it's in January, whether it's in the summer. If anyone puts a bid in for him, leaves on a free. I don't care. Leaves on a free in 2 years. I don't care. If he plays, cool. If he doesn't play, cool. I don't care. Wash my hands of him. Disrespectful. And nothing comes before Manchester United. But people are so warped. So-called Man United fans, so warped and deluded about what it really is to support a football club. We've got into this position where we support players instead of clubs. Like, what? I don't understand where this has started, where it's come from. When we got rid of David Beckham, Roy Keane, Yap Stam, people were gutted. Damn, we lost David Beckham. But we move on. We move on. Now people are talking like Pogba's peak Ronaldo. If we lose him, this club is finished. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. I mean, Pogba's probably been replaced already with Bruno and Van der Beek. He's probably been replaced already. I think Solskjaer was very well aware that Pogba wasn't going to sign a new contract in this summer. We've heard reports coming out, Mina Raiola saying that, no, or was it Mina? Was it Fabrizio? Someone said anyway that there was talk between January, I think it's Fabrizio, February and April about a new contract, but then something broke and it didn't happen. Solskjaer would have been well aware of that. We wanted Jack Grealish to come in. I'm sure for me that would have been I think that would have been a replacement for Pogba, even though it's not the same position. But in terms of an attacking outlet, you know, it's like when we saw Ronaldo, we didn't go and replace Ronaldo. You can't replace Ronaldo. You have to try and find a new way to do. Even that was done poorly, but you can't just replace Paul Pogba, bring in another Paul Pogba. It doesn't work like that. But you find another solution. We brought in Van der Beek instead. And I feel that going forward, he will probably be a replacement, but it's not enough. We still need a defensive midfielder. You say you got Tielemans and Ndidi over there, Leicester. Let's have Ndidi, please. How much? How much for Ndidi? Paul Pogba's already been replaced at Man United. While he's here, if he plays, I hope he performs well. If he doesn't play, I don't really care. Like, you're an employer of Man United, signed a contract, you're supposed to do a job. But I'm not bowing down or pandering to your needs and your wants over the club. I'm not going to back Woodward or the Glazers in terms of the way that they have let down manager after manager and player after player with false expectations. I'm not going to do that. But it doesn't give you the right as an individual to disrespect the club. Mourinho was let down by Ed Woodward. Let down. But it didn't give him the right. Solskjaer's been let down. LVG was let down, and neither one of those dragged Man United through the dirt. So it doesn't give the Paul Pogba camp the reason to do it. And the shameful thing is that as most people who know Paul Pogba say, he's a good lad. Paul Scholes said it, he's a good lad. Fergie said it, he's a good. Solskjaer says it. All the players, he's a good lad at heart, character-wise, but professionally, it's poor. It's poor and it's unacceptable. So to answer the question, the title, Pogba out. Pogba's got to go. He's got to go. But I'm not going to go on a campaign to get Pogba out. I'm not going to, like a lot of people are. And I'm not going to be going on a campaign to defend him. God, no. Not ahead of Manchester United. Have some shame, man. Have some shame. Have some shame. It's embarrassing. People twerk. Big man with a beard and kids. I ain't got kids, but there's man out there with beards and big children. And you're twerking for Paul Pogba online. Twerking, theoretically speaking. Have some shame, man. Where's your integrity? There's no integrity. There's no integrity. Because if a manager you didn't like, or even a player you didn't like, dragged Man United through the dirt in the way that Mino Raiola and Paul Pogba's camp did in the past 48 hours, you would be on their neck. So nothing changes because the player has talent and ability. The principle remains the same. And Man United out. Yep, Man United out of the Champions League, into the Europa League. We ain't going to win it. Thursday, I mean, we put it to one side, innit? It's done for now. Europe is done for now. It comes back around February times. We've got a big December coming up. We've got Man City on the weekend. Sheffield United, Leeds after that. Then the EFL Cup quarter final. It's a big December. We know the fixtures come thick and fast. So we got to really put this game and this Champions League campaign to one side. And we need to keep picking up points. You know, Man City on the weekend, I'll take a draw. I'll take a draw all day long. Take a draw, keep it moving, keep in touch with the top four, the top of the table. And then Sheffield United away, and we look to get 3 points. That's the way I'm looking at it now. If we get a win against Man City, all the better. But the season is so close in the league that it's really it's on tenterhooks. A loss here or a loss there, a win here, win there, you can just fly up and down the table. So I just got to take each game as it comes. Each game as it comes and see where we end up. Big December ahead. We need to really put this result to one side, but also look at where we've gone wrong in the last few games, where we just conceding the first goal and having to come back. We can't keep doing it. We can't keep doing it. Mohammed says, I'm taking the Dybala swap deal. Nah, I don't want Dybala anymore. I mean, I didn't even want Dybala, but what it was, Dybala was offered to us or by Juve. Sarri didn't want him. There was a talk that Lukaku could have been a part of a swap deal. Dybala said he didn't want to leave. He wants to prove himself at Juve and stay there. And from that moment, I'm like, well, no, that's it. We're not going to force him to come by giving him 200, 300,000 a week. Nah, you just play where you're happy in it. We don't want to have any more mercenaries at Manchester United. LCFC, boy, 120 million if Maguire was 80. Boy. I mean, I knew it was a robbery at the time, but boy, I was like, he's worth 60. He was probably worth 40. Bloody hell. Doesn't help when you got two defenders who run through treacle next to each other. Get a bloody quick centre back next to him. Get a bloody quick centre back. And he might look half decent. But God knows we ain't spent 120 million on God indeed. Camavinga's available. I hear that. Camavinga's available. But let's see what happens with that Pogba money, because I don't trust this board. We don't have a director of football. Our recruitment is poor. We saw in the summer the way we were just dragging that Jadon Sancho deal, and then we didn't get him in the end. Like, I don't trust us even to spend that Paul Pogba money. That's why I don't even care what happens. If I really trusted us, I'll be like, get rid now. Get 100 million for him and let's reinvest it. I don't know what's going to happen with that money. I really don't. That's how bad it is at Man United structurally. I actually just don't care what happens with Paul Pogba, because I don't trust that money is going to be reinvested properly. I really don't. Istanbul way is the biggest pain and regret, says Isabella. Yeah, that was all said and done, that is the game that cost us, because we win Istanbul away and at home, 12 points, game, set, and match before the last two games. That's what it should have happened. That's what should have happened. And we put ourselves in a position where we had to get a result against PSG or Leipzig. Brendan's Tricky Blues are winning it, I heard. Is that the Europa League or the Premier League? Listen, either one, I'll be happy for you lot. Two teams I don't mind winning this season will be Leicester. I talk about the proper teams, not like Arsenal. Leicester and Spurs. I don't mind. Liverpool, don't want them winning nothing, but they will, of course. Man City, I don't want them winning nothing, but they will. Chelsea, I don't really want them winning nothing. Their fans talk too much. Arsenal ain't going to win anything anyway. Nothing of note. So I don't have to worry about them. 15th and that. But yeah, Leicester, Tottenham, I don't mind. You don't do your thing in it. As long as it doesn't compromise us. Because we ain't win the league anyway. So if you win the league, it doesn't matter. We ain't winning it. So you just keep it moving. And finally, Ramsey says, Ozil Pogba swap deal incoming. Trading one problem for the next. One problem. God, listen, I wouldn't have Ozil. No, I would rather Paul Pogba sit in the reserves for the next year and a half than swap him with Ozil and have him in our squad. That I'm being 100% honest. 100%. No shade, no cap, no nothing. 100%. I'd rather Pogba in the reserves for 18 months and we losing on a free than a swap deal with Ozil. Where is he even going to play? I mean, if you lot are good enough, you lot are big enough, you can get Pogba. You put the money down the table and we'll sell you Paul Pogba. And you can have Ozil. How about that? Guys, hit the like button, share button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you lot soon.